It's ironic that when I read this book, I feel like I need to take a shower. But I'm getting all the sin from the book. Maybe that's why I feel so filthy after I read this. Hey, and welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel, and I read Bible. Oh yeah, it's so that you don't have to. But I'm glad you're here to watch me read and suffer through the whole entire book that is known as the canonical Bible. Usually it's called the Holy Bible, but a lot of people also call it the canonical Bible. But we're here locked like ram's horns in the throes of Leviticus. Look, it started really annoyingly, can I say that? And then it's been getting like marginally better. So I'm hoping that it just like has this upwards trajectory. I just have a feeling it's not going to, but we'll see what happens. We're here with Leviticus 16, and I'm not going to belabor this intro too long. Just before we get started, I know I haven't done anything important, but hit the subscribe button. Make sure you comment on this video and give it a like if you wouldn't be so kind. With that being said, Leviticus 16. Yahweh spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron when they came near before Yahweh and died. And Yahweh said to Moses, "Tell Aaron your brother not to come at just any time into the most holy place within the veil, before the mercy seat, which is on the ark, lest he die, for I will appear in the cloud on the mercy seat." You'll remember Nadab and Abihu. They were burnt alive because they made this silly, strange, wacky, unusual fire that Yahweh hadn't asked for. You know when you make a wish list for Christmas, but somebody gets you something that's not on the wish list? That's basically what happened here, and Yahweh didn't just graciously accept the gift and go, I know I didn't ask for it, but that's actually, I really wanted socks. He actually burnt them alive with a big ball of fire. And Aaron at the time was like, cool, whatever you want, Yah. Now there's a new development where I don't know if Yahweh's still mad at him, but he's like, don't just come into my room anytime you want, knock first. It's one of the, it seems like a kid that's just like, you can't just walk in my room anytime I'm mad at you, Dad. Knock first. And this is interesting that we get this mercy seat, but the mercy seat is literally where Yahweh comes down to sit to communicate with his people, I believe, which is not unlike, again, not to rake up old graves, but the golden calf, which they made so that Yahweh could come down and sit on it and be with them. The mercy seat is just essentially the golden calf all over again in a way that Yahweh likes more. So he's just very, very picky. Aaron shall come into the sanctuary with a young bull for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen tunic. He shall have the trousers on his body, and shall put on the linen sash, and he shall be clothed with the linen turban. They are the holy garments. He shall bathe his body in water and put them on. He shall take from the congregation of the children of Israel 2 male goats for a sin offering and 1 ram for a burnt offering. So that all makes sense. Aaron is going to do what is, again, a very specific burnt offering. Sounds like a couple male goats and 1 ram for a sin offering, and then also a young bull and a ram for a sin and burnt offering. This is a lot of animals. I'm still not sure. I don't know if this is because Aaron made the golden calf, this is some sort of revenge, or if Aaron has to do some sort of sacrifices because his sons were killed. It's like adding insult to injury at this point. Now you have to actually ask for forgiveness because I killed your kids or something. I don't know what the point of this is, but maybe it'll explain it. Aaron shall offer the bull of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make atonement for himself and for his house. So you have to make atonement for yourself, but also for his house. His kids are bad. So are his other 2 kids, Eleazar and Ithamar, I believe. You really got to apologize for how lousy your kids are, which that's very Bible, it's very Yahweh. He shall take the 2 goats and set them before Yahweh at the door of the tent of meeting. Aaron shall cast lots for the 2 goats, one lot for Yahweh and the other lot for the scapegoat. Okay, this is a new interesting development. Aaron shall present the goat on which the lot fell for Yahweh and offer him for a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell for the scapegoat shall be presented alive before Yahweh to make atonement for him, to send him away as the scapegoat into the wilderness. So we've got this new development that in the first 10 chapters of Leviticus just wasn't mentioned, right? Like this is something brand new. And this is what I love about Bible, which, I mean, you're not going to hear that phrase a lot, but they do keep on mixing things up and keeping it somewhat interesting sometimes. This is also going to be a contradiction to what I say when I go, it's so repetitive, they're always saying the same thing. And this is kind of the same thing, but now they're like, let's add a little point of difference where we say, ooh, there's a scapegoat. Isn't that fun? And it is fun. What is the scapegoat? What is it doing? Where is it going? Why does it exist? Where did this idea come from? And also, what is the casting of lots? I have it on good authority that casting of lots are the Urim and the Thummim, which are these 2 stones that the priests would carry around. If you've been watching these episodes, you'll remember from Exodus, it's part of their outfit. They carry an Urim and a Thummim, and they're just these magical rocks, which are kind of like magic 8 balls. It's kind of like a luck thing. I think in this case, maybe they believe that Yahweh's kind of like controlling the lot. And if that's the case, like if it isn't just dumb luck, then why doesn't Yahweh just go, the goat on the right? No, my right, your right. Not my right, your right. Something like that. And then that's the goat that he kills. And the other one, just like they present the goat alive, there's the goat. There's a goat. And Yahweh's okay, let him go run into the desert. All right. And I guess that means something. I guess this is a good metaphor, God. Great job. Aaron shall present the bull of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bull of the sin offering, which is for himself. Okay, that makes sense. It's a lot of verse to say one. Seems like a simple thing to say. He shall take a censer full of coals of fire from off the altar before Yahweh, and 2 handfuls of sweet incense beaten small, and bring it within the veil. Some of these words are nice. 2 handfuls of sweet incense beaten small. Just funny. And bring it within the veil. It's nice. Sort of nice wording. But what's interesting is that it's certainly specific, and if he gets it wrong at all, then he's the one that's getting balls of fire to the face. He shall put the incense on the fire before Yahweh, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is on the covenant, so that he will not die. If the mercy seat isn't all smoky, Aaron's dead. Why? It's like when you get one of those scenes where the lady is in the bath and the bubbles are covering just the right spots. It's kind of that sort of thing. Yahweh's like, you can't see me. I need smoke to block me. And if anyone sees me, I'll kill them. Remember that? Nobody sees me and dies except for that list of other people. But as a general rule, not many people, very few people will have seen me and not died. He shall take some of the blood of the bull, and sprinkle it with his finger on the mercy seat on the east. And before the mercy seat, he shall sprinkle some of the blood with his finger 7 times. I don't know if I did that 7 times, but I think I did it more. But yeah. So dumb. That's still warm. Then he shall kill the goat of the sin offering that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with his blood as he did with the blood of the bull, and sprinkle it on the mercy seat and before the mercy seat. He shall make atonement for the holy place because of the uncleanliness of the children of Israel, and because of their transgressions, even all their sins. And so he shall do it for the tent of meeting that dwells with them in the middle of their uncleanliness. No one shall be in the tent of meeting when he enters to make atonement in the holy place until he comes out and has made atonement for himself and for his household and for all the assembly of Israel. That's a big job. That's a big job for Aaron. He has to do all of this for everyone. Like, everybody, all of the children of Israel, close to 2 million people that he's atoning for with the flicking of blood or sprinkling of blood. And if it meant something and wasn't just killing an animal and then just like walking around a bit, it would be a hefty job. And if like sin was something that was somehow represented by something other than just some sort of a vague notion or whatever, then it would be like such a heavy thing. It would be something real or something, but it isn't. All it is he goes in and kills something, sprinkles the blood, and then he's like, all right, I guess atonement's been made. He shall go out to the altar that is before Yahweh and make atonement for it, and shall take some of the bull's blood and some of the goat's blood and put it around on the horns of the altar. Those horns are going to be so bloody. He shall sprinkle some of the blood on it with his finger 7 times and cleanse it. He's probably cleansing it with the blood. I thought for a second there that he was just like cleaning off the horn after. I don't know. That's probably not a good hand motion. But I didn't know if he got a wet wipe and cleaned the horn after he put all the blood on it. But no, it's cleansing it with blood. And that is just counterintuitive, guys. If anything, it's going to stain. And make it holy from the uncleanliness of the children of Israel. They're so dirty, they get all the horns dirty. Imagine being so uncleanly that just some horn in a tent just gets dirty. They're words that don't seem to match anything. Like, it's just like they're just random words that feel like they don't fit. Take that pen and dip it in applesauce so that it may be cleansed of the unrighteousness of the badgers that were crawling around in the sewers on Sunday. Like, it's just like a bunch of different words that, it's like, oh, yeah, that's important stuff. But at the same time, you go, why? As soon as you ask why, this whole book just fizzles out, right? The only reasonable answer to the why is because the people of the time thought this. That is really the only answer. I can't think of any other better answer than that. When he has finished atoning for the holy place, the tent of meeting, and the altar, he shall present the live goat. Aaron shall lay both his hands on the head of the live goat and confess over him all the iniquities of the children of Israel, and all their transgressions, even all their sins. And he shall put them on the head of the goat, and shall send him away into the wilderness by the hand of a man who is ready. The goat shall carry all their iniquities on himself to a solitary land, and he shall release the goat in the wilderness. Okay, so this is absolutely bonkers, and it raises some serious questions. We've got this live goat, and Aaron will lay both his hands on his head. Usually he only does the one. And he starts listing every single thing any of the 2 million children of Israel have done wrong. So unless these people are amazing at keeping the law, because we haven't really learned this, but I believe that sin is the transgression of the law. Spoiler alert, but he's holding the thing and he's going, Hezekiah spanked Ezekiel when Ezekiel was leaving the tent. Ezekiel was not happy about that. He didn't ask for consent from Ezekiel for that. John stole a loaf of bread from Stephen, Simon, also known as Simon Peter, also known as David, Simon Peter, Bartholomew, ask for consent from one of the women, and that we know that that's wrong. They're just supposed to do what they want to them and just own them if they want. So he has to do this for like 2 million people. That would take forever, right? And the goat to be patient through all of that. Is there a sedative? The goat's just like, why are you telling me this? Like, what? I don't need to know any of this. Like, what? Yeah, I knew that about Simon Peter, David, Bartholomew, if that was his name, I can't remember. And then the goat has all that iniquity, right? He's heard the whole thing and he was just sitting there. They sent him out in the wilderness. Bye, iniquity. Bye. Stay away. We don't like the iniquity around here. Meanwhile, Simon Peter, David, Bartholomew is back to his old tricks right away. They're going to need a whole other scapegoat. Why vacuum the floor if we're just going to throw food on it again? Well, because, you have to clean it because you'll just end up with more food on the floor. Aaron shall come into the tent of meeting and shall take off the linen garments which he put on when he went into the holy place and shall leave them there. Then he shall bathe himself in water in a holy place, put on his garments, and come out and offer his burnt offering and the burnt offering of the people, and make atonement for himself and for the people. The fat of the sin offering he shall burn on the altar. Between the iniquity scapegoat, he needs a shower. He needs to take a quick bath because he's got all sorts of sin on him. It feels like these people see sin and iniquity and things very literally, almost like very like they actually exist in some sort of like real way, which just obviously can't be true. Where is it? You know what I mean? Like, I could sin right now and I would not know where the sin was. Like, I could not see it anywhere. It's ironic that when I read this book, I feel like I need to take a shower. But I'm getting all the sin from the book. Maybe that's why I feel so filthy after I read this. He who lets the goat go as the scapegoat shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water. And afterward he shall come into the camp, the bull for the sin offering and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall be carried outside the camp and shall burn their skins, their flesh, and their dung with fire. He who burns them shall wash his clothes and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards he shall come into the camp. It shall be a statute to you forever. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls and shall do no kind of work, whether native born or a stranger who lives as a foreigner among you. For on this day shall atonement be made for you to cleanse you. You shall be clean from all your sins before Yahweh. It is a Sabbath of solemn rest to you, and you shall afflict your souls as a statute forever. I don't know what afflict your souls means, but it's interesting that we have this statute forever. I don't know that much about Judaism, but I think that Hebrews or Jewish people have basically like a mega Sabbath. It's like a big time Sabbath. It's like you have your normal Sabbaths, but then you have your like massive Sabbaths. And I think that this is one of those kind of mega Sabbaths, but it is a statute forever. If they're still doing it now, then they took that seriously. The Christians who read this book ignore that. But the thing is, I know that none of them are still doing the killing of the animals and the priests eating part of the animal and those types of things, which they also said was something that would happen forever and would be perpetual, that there would always be a Levitical priest. We're picking and choosing already, and they'll be mad at me for dumping the whole book, but they've dumped like tons of it. It seems like in Judaism, they've certainly dumped a lot of the animal killing stuff, but they seem to have kept this one. They seem to have kept mega Sabbaths. The priest who is anointed and who is consecrated to be the priest in his father's place shall make the atonement and shall put on the linen garments, even the holy garments, Then he shall make atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make atonement for the tent of meeting and for the altar, and he shall make atonement for the priests and for all the people of the assembly. This shall be an everlasting statute for you to make atonement for the children of Israel once in the year because of all their sins. It was done as Yahweh commanded Moses. So the making of atonement, I feel like if we were to look up what that means and how that's done, it's killing an animal. So this is something that's an everlasting statute for you. And by the way, if you're a Christian, you're like, that's Judaism. This is still Yahweh, right? Like this is God quoted. He's saying this is what you're going to do as a statute forever. This will always happen. Even the foreigners among you, right? Which is one of the apologetics is going to be, well, that was for the Hebrews. That was for them at the time. That's not for us. Well, it seems like it's for almost everyone. I mean, at least people that live with them. I would argue that Yahweh is like, this is what I want forever. It's a statute forever. It does say this will be an everlasting statute for you. But then you got to go like, was any of this ever for anyone other than the you in this sentence? Was this God anyone else's God? It was Yahweh like, this is what we're going to do. And then, by the way, totally different plan for those Gentiles. It just seems obvious that the Christians are dumping a lot of the book. And anyway, I don't know if I read this line. Well, that is chapter 16. Back to the same old tricks. I feel like Leviticus is going to just hang out in a lot of ways in the, hey, look at what we're killing. People are feeling bad because they're not doing it well, and we got a lot of different killing to be done. So this wasn't that interesting, to be fair. I feel like I made it more interesting than it could ever be, so you're welcome for that. We'll be back next time for Leviticus 17, of course. Thank you all for watching these videos. Subscribing, commenting is really fantastic because I like having conversations in the comments, and doesn't hurt to see a few likes on the video. Just saying. But have a great day. Bye. Zoom in. Oh, damn it. I'm not old. I just want to see bigger words. Guys, I'm not old. I just want to see bigger words.